Hello, fourth graders. Thank you for joining me today for Number Corner. What we are doing today is we are doing 1 decimeter a day, or we are doing our calendar collector. So let's jump right into it. So as you can see here, we have my Bitmoji on the screen. It says math review, so we're going to do some math review. So our goal for today's activity, our goal is I can read and convert numbers from one unit to another. In this case, today it is decimeters to centimeters, or centimeters to decimeters, however you want to look at it. So if we go on here, a decimeter, what is a decimeter? Well, a decimeter and centimeters are units of length. Decimeters and centimeters are units of length, and they are a part of the metric system. Now, the symbols for decimeter and centimeter are dm for decimeter and cm for centimeter. Now, if we keep going on here, a formula that we can use for finding out and converting is 1 decimeter equals 1 times 10 centimeters. And that 1 is the decimeter, 1 decimeter. So that's where the number kind of goes from here to here. So we're going to take a look at some examples of how we can solve for figuring out converting. So our first example here is 80 decimeters equals how many centimeters? So let's think about how we can solve this. If I have 80 decimeters, well, I'm going to plug that in because I know that with 1 decimeter, to figure out how many centimeters it is, I just have to multiply my decimeter amount by 10 centimeters. So in this case, 80 decimeters equals, then I'm going to put, instead of putting 1, I'm going to make sure that I replace the 80. I'm going to do 80 times 10 centimeters. When I multiply that out, I get a total of, when I multiply 80 by 10, I get my answer of 800. So that will be 800 centimeters because we just converted it from decimeters. Now, another example is 9.5 decimeters, or 9.5 decimeters. So how we can go ahead and solve for that is we can multiply the decimeters by 10. So 9.5 decimeters. So I'm going to do 9.5 decimeters equals 9.5 times 10 centimeters. And when I do that, I get a total of 95 centimeters. So 9.5 decimeters is equal to 95 centimeters. Now that's why this is another reason why it's extremely important to have your values in your units, because we are having 2 completely different units here today. And then our last example for today is 5 decimeters and 6 centimeters. So I'm going to think about how we can do this. Well, my formula, again, is 1 decimeter equals 1 times 10 centimeters. Instead of you putting that 1 there, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my 5 decimeters and 6 centimeters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 5 times 10. Because remember, we only have to multiply the decimeter amount by this formula because our 6 is already in centimeters. So if we do that, then we're going to have to put this in parentheses. So that way we're not multiplying the 5 by 6. And we're going to be adding those 6 centimeters after we multiply. So 5 decimeters and 6 centimeters, when you multiply them out, 5 times 10 centimeters, it's going to be 50 centimeters plus 6 centimeters. And when you get the additions total for this, you get 56 centimeters. Okay, now that we have had a review, we're going to go into your homework for today. So your homework for today, here is the first page. We have seen this before. This is our third picture here. As you can see, we have had to add another strip because today's date is, I'm going to actually move this. Today's date is April 22nd of 2021. So because it's April 22nd, right now, how many decimeters do you think we've collected so far? Well, you can count, or you could use multiplication to figure out, well, if I'm adding 1 decimeter per day, and it's the 22nd day, how many decimeters am I going to have during that time? Go ahead and figure that out. Once you have that figured out, you can go ahead and put your decimeter amount down right here, and then figure out and use this equation, this formula, to figure out how many centimeters is that. So remember, I'm going to put this right here for you so you do not forget. You can put your formula, and you can use the formula to solve and convert decimeters into centimeters. Once you have that, then we are going to keep going on here. Our next thing that you're going to do is I need your help with something, because I was creating our chart again, just like I did last week, and I lost a few of our numbers. And you guys did such a great job filling this out last time that I knew that I could trust you with it. So I'm going to trust you with it, and I'm going to give you guys this time here now to fill out this chart. I'm going to fill out 2 of the boxes for you to show you how you can do it. But then otherwise, I want you to fill out all of these empty boxes here. Wherever you see a blank space, I want you to fill it out. Now, I'm going to do an example one for you really quickly here. Now, I'm going to pick day 17. And on day 17, I see that there are 17 decimeters. Okay, so if there's 17 decimeters, one thing that I can go back, and I'm going to go back to this picture actually. And I'm going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's 1 meter. So that means that I'm going to have at least 20 decimeters to have 2 meters. So that means that I know I'm going to have a hole. And then if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I am left with, I have 7 out of how many fit overall? How many fit overall? Well, it's 10. 10 centimeters or 10 decimeters fit on this whole meter strip. So that means that it is going to be 7 over 10 equal, and it also could be as a decimal, 1.7 meters. 1.7 meters. And then the way to convert it into centimeters, again, using our formula here. This formula is going to come in really handy today. So with this formula, if we take 1 decimeter and we take 17 decimeters, and we multiply that. So what we're going to have to do, we have to plug the decimeter amount into our 1 here. So 17 will be 17 times 10. When I do 17 times 10, what I am left with is 170 centimeters. So then I'm going to write 170 centimeters as best as I can here. Now, your job is to fill out the rest of these blank spaces here. So you got a few more to go. And then all you have to do now is you have 3 problems to do. Here's your first problem. It is pretty much very similar to what we just did with this chart here. It is complete the table below. And if you see, it is on page 80 in your Number Corner student book, page 80 in your Number Corner student book. Now, if you can see number 1, it says complete the table below. So it says decimeters, centimeters, and it has 1, 10, blank 20, blank 30, 4, 40. So one thing that I can think about and that I know is 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeters. So if I have 2 decimeters, that is going to be, can I just multiply this by 2? I don't see why not. So 10 times 2, that's going to be 20. Oh, well, what do you notice? Centimeters, 20. So then that means that this box right here is going to have to be 2. And all you have to do to fill this box out is just double click on it. And then the cursor will show up. So then you just have to put in the number that you'd like. So I put 2 in there because 2 times 10 equals 20. So if there's any other strategies that you can figure out for how to solve these, I would love to see them. Otherwise, that is it for this page. And then what you're going to do after you figure out the rest of this ratio table, you are going to make at least 3 observations for the values of decimeters and centimeters. 3 observations. Those are required for you. Once you have this all done, if you think about it, it goes 1, 2, blank, 4, 5, blank, blank, 8, blank, 10. So what do you think goes in this top bar here? Maybe, are we missing anything on the bottom? How could we fill that out? I want you to go ahead and do that and then make your observations. Once you have that, you have one more problem to do. And this problem says, my pet frog took 13 big jumps. Each jump measured 15 decimeters. How many decimeters did he jump in all? Please use equations to show your thinking. Okay, so here's the thing that I like to think about first. With math, it's always super important to look at the vocabulary of the problem. So I'm going to take my highlighter here, and I'm going to highlight anything that seems important in the sentence. So my pet frog took 13 big jumps. Well, I know 13 is a number, so it must be pretty important. So I'm going to do 13 big jumps. Each jump measured 15 decimeters. That seems like it's pretty important. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight that each jump measured 15 decimeters. How many decimeters did he jump in all? So what I have to figure out is how many decimeters did he jump in total? Because in all, that's our total. So one way that we could think about it is we could do a number line here. If I create that. So here is a number line that I created, and this might help you to solve this problem. This is a way that you can solve a multiplication problem is with a number line. So if this feels right to you, then go ahead and use this. So I'm going to take my marker here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start right here. So each jump is measured 15 centimeters. So 13 big jumps in total. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I didn't quite reach the end of our line, but that's okay. Here is where 13 is going to be. So now each jump measured 15 decimeters. So that means that this jump was 15 decimeters. This jump was 15 decimeters. This jump was 15 decimeters. This one was 15. So I could add all 13 of these 15s, or what I could do, so I could do something like this. I could do 15 plus 15, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. What if I just did this? I could just do this. I could just do 15 times 13. And when I do that, I get my total of, what do I get? I get a total of 100. What do I get? Go ahead and give me the answer. And once you have that down, then you can head on to the next problem. Remember, here is also the formula. This problem, you don't really need too much. But if you would like a challenge, then you can head to this challenge problem here. So this is still the exact same problem as before, so you can have your answer with you. And it says, how many meters did he jump in all? So because you're changing it to meters, remember, we're not doing centimeters. So think about how am I going to change the decimeters to a meter? Now, once you have that figured out and you are all complete with every problem here, then you are all good to go for today. So thank you all so much for joining me. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you do, you can join our math workshop this afternoon from 12 until 1. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining.